Challengers to Battleground of the Gods, a SMITE podcast. I'm your host, Dep Nation, and joining me today we have Fro Double G.
I'm going to go ahead and apologize to the YouTubers right now, A, for being late for 2 weeks, and B, for starting this video as Dep was already speaking. My bad.
And Riggs.
I'm gonna divinely knock you out. Mom is gonna divinely knock you out.
Everybody's gonna knock you out.
No, divinely knock you out.
Oh, divine. Is this a D.K.O episode?
I mean,
Yeah,
kind
you know
of.
what the funny part about that is too is I haven't played it.
Me either. I've got it downloaded. It's on the desktop. I've got the sticks plugged into my computer. I am ready. I am ready for it.
Yeah, we are going to be doing a little bit of D.K.O-ish. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're going to talk some D.K.O because I've been fucking loving it, having a blast. But this is actually a lore episode. But Smite and D.K.O share the same gods, so you know it'll be pretty convenient. But
no way.
We are
going to be doing.
D.K.O
just ripped all fucking Smite's ass.
I know, right? I can't wait for the fucking lawsuit.
Crazy,
dude. Yeah. I mean, did you see what Stu did with that last guy on Twitter? I'm surprised they're not all over this.
I forgot. But about it.
Yeah. So we're going to be covering some lore, but specifically the lore of gods that are in D.K.O. So it's a kind of a win-win, right? We could talk some D.K.O, and it's still definitely Smite related, so y'all will enjoy it. Well, I mean, as much as any of our lore videos ever are.
No, you will enjoy it.
No, you will. That's right. You're right.
The only downside is though that we are not drunk because it is early afternoon.
It is early afternoon. That is the caveat. Yep.
Doesn't mean I won't be stupid.
Who would have thought that people have like evening plans as the holidays get closer?
Well, I mean, I'm still stoned like usual. Does that count?
The fuck was my dad thinking having a goddamn birthday today, dude?
How could he?
This fucking guy, dude. Get a load of this guy.
All right, that's a St. Patty's Day baby, I think.
I don't want to think of when my dad was conceived that, but
midlate. I'm just saying. Somebody was enjoying the March Madness.
Yeah, you know, it was kind of a meme in my family that 4 of my grandpa's 5 kids were born 9 months after his birthday. It's like, hey, Grandpa, what'd you do on your birthday? How was your birthday every year? You ain't fooling us, motherfucker.
Most fun. It was the best of times.
I'm not sure if Riggs froze or if he just got like intently texting.
Sorry, I just got I
no,
had
no,
an
you're
important message.
You're good. You're good. That's honestly to pull back the curtain a little bit here. Kind of the point of having multiple co-hosts is so one of us, especially when we do like long episodes, right? Because we always do like an hour plus usually. We can't 100% focus on, you know, the screens and shit and all that, the conversation 100%. So it's kind of the point of having extra people is someone could be like, oh shit, you know, my wife just texted, my husband just texted, if you're Nev.
Yep.
Yes, sir. That was my grandmother.
Oh.
Yeah.
OG Riggs in it.
Yeah. She heard I was talking shit about my dad, and she was like, hey, what the fuck? I popped him out. Talking shit about him.
You talk shit about him, you talk shit about me.
You got a problem with his birthday? Well, guess what?
Grandma's going to divinely knock you out.
Really? She's going to fucking knock my ass out, dude.
Divinely.
Yeah, divinely, though.
You guys are going to say that so much, I'm not going to want to use it as the title. I said before we started this episode, I'm like, man, I got a perfect title. It's going to be Knock Me Out Divinely.
Yeah. Well, yeah, as soon as you said that, I started thinking of that song, and then I was like, oh, it's perfect.
Right.
So now I feel like that has to be the outro song, even though it's, you know, we'll just hush about copyright. But
oh, yeah. Also, quick note to you guys. I don't got to do it to Nev because Nev will just default to Crab Rave. If no one's here to record the actual video, please make sure it's an NCS song that you use because they won't copyright strike us. They'll claim it, which is no big deal because we don't make cash, right? But if you use like a well-known song, they're gonna strike that shit, and we can only get 3 of those total. We're
You're
good
saying
so
I
far. We
shouldn't
have
use
0.
John
We have 0.
Cena's theme song.
Yeah, don't. We got flagged for that. We got flagged for that one, but it was the remix or whatever, and it was actually like we got copyright claimed, so we're good there. We were good there.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
I think I use NCS every time, and I never use Crybrave. So
I don't know. It's just something I panic, right? Because on the YouTube don't have the outro songs, so it's nothing we have to worry about, right? It was just like I went through, and because I haven't been here, so I've had to like download them and render the videos and all that. So they do have the outro songs. I went through and I was checking out the videos, and I just saw copyright claim, copyright claim, copyright claim. I'm like, oh no, what's going on? And I had to go look. I'm like, okay, they're claims, not strikes. We're good. Oh, okay, we're good.
mm-hmm. We
So
used
that's
to
how I
thank
had a
them.
heart attack. Yeah.
They used to be in our list of thanks. Thanks, NCS.
Were they?
Claiming all our shit. They like OG when we first started, yeah. Because we thanked them. We thanked wildmonkeydesign.com
Well,
for our logo, our OG logo.
Well, NCS turns out you just have to put the links and shit.
Put
which
it
we
in
do,
the bio,
right?
right? Because
And they'll claim it regardless.
Willow? It was Willow that originally
Famous.
wasn't it?
He
Famous?
hooked up
Was
both
it
of them, right?
famous?
And then he's the one who had the deal with Wild Monkey that for a year we would thank them because we got the logo.
The service for free, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Which great logo. Like still awesome. Still use it.
Yeah.
Professional.
Definitely good.
But for OGG, we got some characters in Divine Knockout.
We do.
Do we want to run through the list before we
I
touch
need
on
you
each floor?
to vamp because my family just got home and they're being loud as hell.
Okay. So I'm going to run through the list right now as of the recording December 17th, the year 2022. There are 10 D.K.O characters. We have Ymir, Amaterasu, Arthur, Athena, Hercules, Izanami, Sol Susano, Thanatos, and Thor. It's got a pretty iconic art style. Everybody is chibi. So I'm going to make it a point to say the young Thanatos, the young bearded Thor.
The young gravy.
Hercules is the young gravy. Look at that, man. He's a young Chad right there.
I just dropped my fucking phone on my toe.
Bro, what did you do?
Dude, it slid off my fucking desk. Onto my goddamn keyboard thing, right? And then down onto my toe.
Quit fucking with your shit. I don't know what to tell you.
Get stronger toes, dude.
It's true. Man skipped toe day. Who knew?
Yeah, that was my toe. If that was my toe, my phone would have shattered, dude.
You know who didn't skip toe day? Soul actually has toes.
I feel like it's weird because you called everybody young, and now you're saying she has toes.
I mean,
that's a slippery slope with you, Dad. You can't call them all young and then make
Hercules has toes too. Athena has toes.
Well, I would hope
Ymir,
they all have toes.
no, they don't. They don't all have toes. Amaterasu, no toes.
Besides
Ymir, no toes. Arthur, no toes.
Well, he's wearing shoes.
Izanami, no toes.
They're wearing boots.
I doubt they rendered toes beneath those boots.
You don't know who does the art for high-res. So they might have a foot fetish. You never know.
I mean, Ymir doesn't have
toes.
Clearly not a foot fetish. Yeah, so I ran through the list of gods, bro.
Yep. So,
who are we starting with?
I have a few stories involving the gods.
Oh.
Right, the different ones.
Let's hear.
Now, a little biased, but they're mainly the Norse ones, right? And we're going to start off with Sol because she's pretty much so the easiest one. She just gets chased around in a chariot with the sun by a wolf.
Nice.
There we go. Real simple with that one. No, there actually is more of a story involved, where, if I remember correctly, this one I didn't actually look up because it is just a very short story. Her brother did something to insult one of the gods, and then they both got basically offered up as like condolences. That's it. Yeah, there's really not shit on that one. But a much more exciting one is the story of Utgarda Loki. Or if anyone's ever checked out any mythology or anything, awesome. Also called Screamir a lot of times, or Screamir. But
Is this the blue man that we're talking about?
nope, it's not. It's not Ymir. It's another giant, another Jotun. So Utgarda basically means the outland or outyard, and it's essentially Loki of the outsiders, outland, outyard. But so in this story, it starts off with Thor, Loki, and I forget the kid's name. But one of Thor's servants. Okay. And they are heading into Jotunheim. And at first, they need a place to stay. So they're like, oh, hey, look at this big ass cave. So they stay in the cave, right? Then they end up running into this big old giant that actually picks up the cave, because the cave turns out to be his glove. And they're like, oh shit, dude's huge, right? Glove's huge. He ends up going to take a nap overnight, and they're all like, hey, yo, we need you to wake up. So, like, Thor bops him in the head a few times, right? First, lightly, then he ends up taking Mjolnir to him. Each time the dude's like, oh, hey, did someone sneeze? Like, was there a leaf that fell on my head? And Thor's like, this dude's a dick, I'm pissed, right? So they keep going, but eventually he guides them to where they're looking for, right? Which is Utgarda Loki's place. And they get there, and they come in, and he's like, hey, yo, I have some challenges for you. And they're like, fuck it, let's do it. So the first one is they have Loki have a eating contest against Logi with a G, right? So Logi and Loki.
Not confusing at all, right?
No, yeah. So Logi is having an eating contest against Logi at Utgarda Loki's. Right? Staying with me? No one confused?
No.
Good, right? Loki and Logi at Utgarda Loki's. So, they have the eating contest, right? Where they have this big, long table full of food. And Loki and Logi end up meeting in the middle, right? And Loki's like, it's a tie, right? It's a tie. But while Loki had eaten everything right down to the bone, right? Logi had eaten everything, including the table, the plates, the silverware, and all the bones. So he was declared the winner because he had ate everything, right? Consumed it all. Next, they had Thor have a wrestling contest with an old lady, right? Like super old lady. And they go back and forth. And there's a few times where Thor looks like he's going to actually beat her, but doesn't, and eventually has to give up and loses. And then Loki, Utgarda Loki, is all like, ha ha ha, Thor, you little bitch, right? Also, this is why he gets referred to as Screamir a lot of times, so people don't get as confused in modern tellings, in my opinion. There are other reasons, right, why he had that name. Anyways. So, then he's like, all right, I got another challenge for you, right? I need you to try to pick up my cat, right? I need you to lift this pussy up. He goes, he tries, he can only lift one paw. He's like, damn girl, this pussy too fat. Can't pick it up.
Jesus Christ.
What?
Something about Fro saying pussy.
Yeah, I'm with you, Riggs. It's like, I know you're going for the innuendos, but like,
But that doesn't mean stop saying it. That just means
Yeah,
that
no,
every time
no,
you
keep
say it, me and
going,
Deb are
keep
gonna
going.
look
We're
at each
just
other.
like cringing and dying a little bit every time. It's fine.
I mean, it's what happened. It's part of the story. I'm sorry. But, so, can't do it. He can only lift one paw, right? And again, Screamir, or Uthgarda Loki, is like, ha, you little bitch. Then he's like, I got a challenge for your kid that came with you, your little servant. And they're going to have basically a race, right? I forget who they said that the person was, whether it's just a person or anything like weird about him. But races against the kid, right? And the kid completely just loses. The other person like beats him in 1 second. It's like, well, fuck. And then they're like, all right, we got one more challenge for you. He's like, okay, all right. Thor gets challenged to basically slam down a glass of beer, right? Or mead. And it's like, yo,
Don't threaten him with a
Yeah.
good time.
yeah, I can do this, right? I went to college. So
I
he
went to
fucking,
college.
he starts slamming down this glass, right?
Mm.
And he's chugging and chugging and chugging and chugs as much as he can. And the glass barely goes down at all. And he's like, yo, I can't do it. And then Uthgarda Loki is like, once again, you're a little bitch, right? And then Thor's like, I'm so mad. This is bullshit. I've lost everything. And then eventually Uthgarda Loki's like, haha. Yeah, since I've defeated you, you gotta leave my place now. They're like, all right, well, I guess, we'll leave even though we only came here to talk to you anyways, right?
Mhm.
So they leave. And then once they get to the edge of the place, Uthgarda Loki's like, you know what? That was all a trick. It was all a lie. Logi is actually Wildfire incarnate, right? The one that consumed everything. The person who won the race against the kid was Thought. Nothing's faster than thoughts. The fat ass pussy was actually Jormungandr. And Logi was actually scared that he was even able to lift the paw of Jormungandr in disguise. The glass of beer was actually connected to the ocean magically, and Thor was actually chugging the ocean and caused it to go down a noticeable amount. And the old lady was old age itself, and no one can, beat old age. And then Uthgarda Loki, or Screamir's like, now that I've told you all this, get the fuck out of here. And then he goes invisible and takes off, or he disappears, which is real weird because he's
Loki
like,
main.
Yeah, he really did the Loki main thing, which is weird because he's like, you leave, but I'm gonna take off.
Dude, Deb, don't you hate it when you're having a competition against an old lady and she turns out to be fucking old age herself, and you're like, God
Old
damn
age,
it,
really
why
is.
has this
Yeah.
always happened to me?
This is always this happens every fucking time I try to wrestle an old woman.
I
Yeah,
mean,
she just
I
turns out to
remember
be
the
fucking
last
old
pie
age.
eating contest I went to, right? And they're like, yo, but this dude ate the fork and the tin, so that counts as 2. And you're like, oh, fuck me, I guess. I didn't know that was an option.
Right. Like I'm over here working by the rules, and this man knew about the extra credit.
Question for you, Fro. Where does the Laufey fall in all that?
Laufey?
That's it.
Loki's
That's
mother?
the only other. That's the only other ice giant I know.
All right.
Is Laufey.
So first off, Ice Giant's not correct totally.
Frost
Right.
giant.
No. Well, the giant part is what's not necessarily. Well, I mean, and ice. Because Jotun doesn't directly translate to giant, and it doesn't mean giant. Often used like giant, and a lot of Jotuns are referred to as having giant size, but it actually is like destroyer, consumer, wrath, things like that. That's why a lot of
You know what else
the
has giant
Jotuns are
size?
actually like more of destructive forces. Not necessarily just giant in size. But yeah, so Laufey is Loki's mother, which is
That's
actually
not what
notable.
Marvel said.
Because,
That's
well, yeah, that happens. Which is also
You're
somewhat
telling me that
notable
was a woman?
because Loki Laufey's son is Loki's like full name or whatever, which is different than how a lot of the naming conventions happened in a lot of the other stories and just in general back then. Because a lot of times they would go by the dad's name and then son.
The dad's name for sons,
Right,
and
that's
then
kind of like
the
Thor
so and
Odin's
so's
son.
daughter.
Right.
Yeah.
Or Dotir. But it would usually be the father's name, even in the daughter example, right? So it would be like Odin's Dotir or Odin's son for any of Odin's kids. But Loki goes by his mother's name, even though
What a
she's the Odin.
bitch. Oh, I'm kidding.
Supposed to be like this. People are like, what does it mean? I was like, I don't know, but it's fucking interesting, I guess. But yeah, so that's Laufey.
Gotcha. And how does that tie into D.K.O here?
That was just supposed to be a story about Thor.
Oh, a story about Thor.
Okay.
Yep, it's all coming together now. Man
I thought
wrestled
Thor
an
was
old
just
woman.
like. I thought he was just like in the story. I didn't realize that was a Thor story.
Right.
Well, I mean,
It
there's
does make sense.
a shit ton of stories about like having Thor in it. Most of Thor's not every, but most of Thor's stories are like a buddy cop movie. You know what I'm saying? There's just always someone else there, right?
Yeah,
Which really,
like Thor
Thor
Ragnarok.
great, great buddy movie.
You know,
Great buddy movie.
honestly,
They need like that was a great model for Thor. Although I wish they'd just like take him more seriously in like the group movies. Instead of being like, oh, this idiot. Like Thor's not dumb.
Well,
I mean, okay, man wrestled an old woman and drank the ocean, not
and
knowing
thought
that
he
it
was
wasn't
fucking,
beer.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, is he really not that dumb?
But you gave him a glass of beer, told him it was beer. Well, why would this guy lie to me?
when you got someone who's casting magical spells that's fooling the god of trickery himself,
I would have seen through it. That's all I'm saying.
I mean,
put me in Norse mythology.
You know what he did? He looked at Loki. Loki said, "Seems legit." Loki knew that wasn't the case. And he's like, "I'm just going to see this dumbass."
he's like, I'm just here for the free meal anyways, and you turned it into a fucking all-you-can-eat buffet, so fuck it.
Yeah.
How
Anyways.
long do you guys think you could last in Norse mythology before you died? Like, do you think you could last like more than like 2 minutes, or you think you would die?
I get snapped in half. I'd be dead.
You'd walk and you'd accidentally step on like Father Time's fucking left toe and you'd be squished. Like, I don't know. Like,
Skip toe day.
you go and push some old dude, he turns out to be like fucking old age or whatever.
Right.
I'm
Father
have
time.
to hard pass on that, man. I'm not about that till Valhalla life.
You
Them
walk
stories are
in the
rough.
snow and you end up walking over it. All of a sudden, the snow moves and it's fucking you're in like an ice giant's cave or whatever. Like, I don't know.
Oh my god,
Which
that
is his
reminds me.
glove.
Is all right. So at my work, right, I'll see some shit that occasionally is labeled pretty funny, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of which was a Nordic rhino necklace.
Interesting.
And I had to send that to Sadans in Stoffmeister. And I'm like, yo, Nordic rhinos, yeah? And he was like, yeah, you got to be careful. You never know. You walk by a pile of snow, then poof, here comes a fucking rhino. And then out of nowhere, he has this gif that he posts of, I forget if it actually was snow or if it was like sand or something, of a rhino just comes bursting right through something. And it was like so perfect. And I'm like, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie,
Nordic
rhinos
rhinos.
bursting through anything is always like epic scene montage material instantly.
Yeah, I'd
It
say
was good.
animals in general bursting through like a wall or something, always pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just bursting in general is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Even appearing from off screen. You know,
An
doesn't
off-screen
have
rhino?
to be through a wall. just moving fast and suddenly animal.
Dude, I saw a video of this rhino who squared up to an elephant, right?
Mm-hmm.
And got put in its fucking place.
Oh, dude, elephants are
Yeah, like this elephant rolled the rhino, and it's like, oh,
Yeah,
I
those
could take an
rhinos,
elephant, I think.
you see videos of rolling cars. This thing rolled that. Interesting.
Mhm.
I think I could take an elephant.
What would the elephant do to a car?
I think you say you can take an elephant.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe.
Yeah, from like fucking 15,000 or 1,500 yards away, not yards, feet away, with a fucking high-powered rifle.
No, with my bare hands.
So
You don't have
apparently
bare
there
hands.
was
You
a
have human
guy-
hands. You cannot lie to me.
Apparently there was a guy who had a hunting rifle commission to shoot 1-pound bullets.
God damn.
Jesus.
Yeah. For like, it was like for hunting. Like it's an old ass weapon, mind you. Like this was like, before 1960, I think that this happened. But
For anyone who's
that's
like,
something that exists.
how big is that? That is like a bullet, the projectile part, the size of like an aspirin bottle.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
roughly.
so it's almost like a little it's like almost like a mini like a musket ball almost kind of.
I don't know why you
It's
use the
heavier
word
than that.
mini at all in that
Mini.
description.
No, there's nothing mini about it.
There's nothing. It's
For-
quite the
aren't-
opposite.
well,
It's
aren't
like
the
a
musket balls
massive.
like pretty big though? Because musket balls are bigger than a pound.
What?
No.
Aren't
No.
they?
They're no.
No, they're
Ah.
ounces.
Yeah. But if we're talking about fighting elephants, I feel like Hercules.
Are you
can
thinking
fight an elephant.
cannonball rig?
No, I thought musket balls were like not. I know they're not cannonballs, but I thought they were like
No.
like just a little bit smaller than that.
No. Hercules though, I had a badass transition. Y'all fucking ruined
I'm sorry. Hercules.
it. Hercules, the man that can beat an elephant, defeated another D.K.O god in some lore, right? So Thanatos, believe it or not, was once defeated by the warrior Heracles. So like, Heracles, Hercules, take you how you leave it.
It's literally just
to-
Roman versus Greek.
Right. To save some trickster's wife, who wanted a second chance at life, believe it or not. So, that's
Also, shout out to Kevin
That's-
Sorbo.
what?
No shout out to Kevin Sorbo.
I mean, he's probably not a great dude, but I don't know. Did he do something? Should I not say that?
Why
Let's
are we
just say I
shouting
disagree with him pretty fundamentally.
out? Wow.
Never mind. No shout out Kevin Sorbo, but it wasn't a Hercules movie.
Oh. Well, all right then.
Yeah. The show
but
was
yeah,
good. I like the Hercules show. I know which one you're talking about. Like that and the Xena.
Oh, the OG. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was some wild time. Like I tried watching it back and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, this made it to air?
In the 80s. Early
Doesn't
90s.
matter.
You
Doesn't
gotta
matter.
look, dude. I used to eat that shit up when I was a kid, though. Like that,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Beastmaster, and fucking dude. I thought it was so cool, and dude, watching it really is rough. You know, they made a Xena video game back in the day.
I think I do recall that. Yeah.
They made a fighting game and RPG one, and both
Yeah.
I played.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, Xena was like my first hardcore crush.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It was either Xena or Xena's friend. That was your
Yeah.
crush, I feel like. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, both, but yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, the long-haired woman in leather definitely caught my attention more, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That was also the era of China and WWF, but this is not necessarily
This is-
relevant.
No,
Fucking
No.
China, dude.
not relevant. But we have China right next to Japan. We've got a
Fucking
couple.
Dev's looked at a map before. Imagine.
Oh
Yeah, shout out
shit!
to
Watch
Dev, dude.
out!
Shout out maps around the world.
Jumping across the
Yeah.
world. So we've got a couple. We've got a couple Japanese pantheon
Wait,
gods here.
you
We
weren't
got
going to explain
Amaterasu,
anything about
yes.
that story, Dev?
No,
About
like literally, that's all the story is. Like Thanatos child of Nyx was once beat up by Hercules because Hercules was trying to save some dude's wife.
Oh, so you just beat him up. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Once defeated by the warrior Heracles. Wrestled him to save the life of Ecclestes.
Well, you just said defeated, and I'm like, well, how you defeating death here? Is this one of the
beat him up. That's how Hercules solves 99% of his problems.
Well, but he does have a little bit of strategy. I didn't know if it's one of the things like, all right, Death, I'll fight you, but you have to face away from me, and because Death can't look at him, Death can't take him, or something like that. You know what I mean? That's classic Greek mythology stuff right there. They beat the thing you can't look at with a mirror, Depp. A mirror. Take that, Medusa.
Right. Who knew that shiny surfaces would be your downfall? No. I'm swinging us over to the island and mythology of Japan. Amaterasu, Izanami, and Susanoo. And Susanoo in particular, being Amaterasu's little brother, I saw a little origin myth. And I thought this was pretty hysterical. He was born as his father Izanagi washed his nose. Susanoo is quite literally a snot-nosed little brat.
Damn, I don't know how we never picked up on that. And he kind of looks like it when he's cheapified too.
There was one I saw too.
I was wondering where you were going with this, Deb, because this would be the third time we've covered the Izanagi, like God's creation story, and I was just wondering.
And here's the thing: Japanese translation of Susanoo, impetuous male. So this snot-nosed little brat throws a fit, and they made him the goddamn storm god. Like,
that's what I was gonna say too. I have one about them, specifically Amaterasu and Susanoo, where shout out to SMITE too. I'm giving a bunch of shout outs today. Shout out to SMITE for the lore section right here, so I don't have to Google anything. But so what it says is that Amaterasu was super popular, right? The older sister. She's probably got a ton of followers on TikTok and shit, posting
and
shit all the time. And Instagram. And Susanoo was like, I want that. How come my Minecraft videos on TikTok aren't blowing up like hers? You know what I mean? And so he got jealous and he burned down all of her shit. burned down her fields and scared the shit out of people and caused a bunch of destruction. Well shit.
Yeah, so you did shout outs to SMITE, right? So I'm going to have to actually call out one time that they did absolutely horrible job. Per se. Because either they did a horrible job or they did a great job. Right? And that's with the story of Ymir. Or Ymir. However you want to pronounce it. Not Weimer. So, this is a bit of a story. Right? Involving something that's called the Ganingagap.
The what?
The Ganingagap.
Yes, again?
Ganingagap.
I'm going to need you to spell it. Can you use that in a sentence?
Ginnungagap. Ganingagap.
There's definitely some unnecessary syllables in that word.
Absolutely.
Listen, I get that the Norse wanted to be like, look at our cool language and shit. You guys could have simplified it, all right? You're not fooling anybody.
Well, I forget what it means, but it's the gap. It's something gap.
Just call it the gap then. You don't gotta call it good gap.
Well, no, it's because they slap the words together. It's a descriptor plus the word. It's like the
like red leather, yellow leather.
The vast gap or something like that.
Just like red, yellow leather.
Yeah. It'd honestly be like if we were to take the word yellow leather and put them together, right? How long would that be? But it just means yellow leather. That's kind of what this is.
Mind the gap. So we're minding the gap.
But yeah, it's the gap in between the realms of Niflheim and Muspelheim, or the realm of fire and ice, right?
We call that Chesthairheim.
Yep. It's also where the three rivers come together as well over this great plain, the gap, right? The Gunning Gap. So, the land of Muspelheim, or the land of fire, is so hot that it starts melting some of the ice
How hot?
From how high is it? It's hot enough that it melts the ice. From Niflheim, right?
Mhm.
And then all this comes out, and then it starts building up this great glacier,
Mhm.
right? And in this glacier, a giant cow referred to or known as Humdrabolda, Adhumbra, but yeah, I can't fucking pronounce it. It's fucking space cow. We're gonna go with space cow, right? This giant ass cow,
Space cow.
large space cow, right? Ends
So we
up,
got a large space cow in the gap.
Yep.
Nice.
Uh,
Now you really have to mind the gap. There's a space cow there.
And
Yeah, right.
Nibelheim's melting too.
Mm-hmm.
So, space cow, right, comes in and starts licking up some of the ice, right? And then it exposes Ymir, because Ymir was formed under all that.
He licked away his underwear.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, Ymir starts sweating, right? Sweat turns into a bunch of different giants, or Jotuns, that then proceed to feed off the milk of Amdrabolda, or however it's pronounced.
Lady space cow. Okay.
Yep. Then, the cow licks another block, right?
Mm.
That exposes. Hold up, I gotta get this one right here. Okay, yep, I was right. Was Buri, Odin's dad. And they end up giving birth to Odin, Vili, or he ends up having a wife that shows up too under this ice. And they end up giving birth to Odin, Vili, and Ve. Right? Odin, Vili, and Ve then kill Ymir. Right, you guys sticking with me?
Yeah, this
I'm just
cow
wondering
can't
at
stop
this
licking
point what
shit, dude.
happened to the space cow and why they're allowing it to continue to lick shit. Yeah.
Yeah, why does it just keep on licking shit?
I mean, it's what cows do.
Like
Man.
after the first one, it's like, hey, like this cow licked it, and all of a sudden we got a bunch of giants running around. Now maybe we should stop it from licking shit.
Well, he licked
Yeah.
it. Now
It's like,
there's
no, I'm
gods
gonna
running
lick this
around.
thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So now that Odin, Vili, and Ve are around, they kill Ymir, and then they take the parts of Ymir and they form Midgard, or the world,
Mm-hmm.
and that is the actual full story of Ymir. Well, I mean, as actual as the Frozetta gets.
Gotcha.
So Ymir's kind of a little bitch then, right?
He kind of got styled on.
He kind of got shit
By
on,
some-
but
I mean, he got
by some
3v1.
punks that got licked by a space cow.
yeah, but isn't he like massive?
Well, the
And he's
dude's
also
over
a
here
space
holding
cow.
down dual lane, and then
descendant.
fucking you got the enemy support and ADC, and then the jungler comes up and ganks his ass. Like, what I mean?
He's got a wall, and that wall used to last a full 6 seconds.
Ymir
Space cow
also
licked it.
goes boom.
Mm. It's also got like the best passive on the face of the planet.
False.
Accurate. Slap that shit on a hunter and tell me it's bad.
Yeah, that's the full story of Ymir and Space Cow. Alderhumbla, or I cannot fucking pronounce it.
Large space cow.
Large space cow.
AUDHEMBLA.
Yeah.
LSC. New next, my god, LSC. Anybody?
Yeah, honestly, when are they gonna add the large space cow to the Norse Pantheon in Smite? Have it ultimate just be licking shit and just spawn stuff everywhere.
Well, I think we got a couple left. What do we still have to touch on here? We still have to touch on Athena.
I was gonna touch Arthur.
Oh, yeah, let's touch Arthur.
Just all over Arthur. Let me just touch
All
him.
over Arthur.
Yeah, he got a big old sword.
Mm-hmm.
He pulled that shit out of the ground.
Yep.
Everybody loved him. The end. He became king.
And Merlin was doing some wizard shit somewhere
Yeah,
along the way.
Merlin was doing some wizard shit, brewing shit, mixing shit, making spells and shit. Arthur was doing his thing. He's riding on a horse every once in a while, maybe. Then he became king, and he was like, "Look at me and my big sword.
And
I'm gonna
he said, "Hey
unsheath my large sword."
Lancelot, ride this horse for me." Oh, by the way, the horse is a fucking unit.
Yeah, hey Lancelot, look at my large sword as I unsheath it. Uh, and then go ride go ride my horse.
Go ride my horse. God.
That's about it. There you
So you didn't look up anything for Arthur.
Not a
go.
whole lot.
No. No, I know there's a lot more to it, but I mean,
To
listen.
be fair, this was kind of like a last minute thing because it
Mhm.
was partially supposed to be a Santa episode until Nev was like, "Hey, we already have Christmas trivia for Christmas, so you're gonna release a Santa episode after Santa or after Christmas." And it's like, oh, that's a fair point.
Mhm.
I mean, if you want, I can give you a quick Santa lore. If you want to do that,
Let's
we
hear
got
it.
that ready to go.
Let's hear it. Because honestly, I
So
only
the
had the
year
Norse ones for DKO, so whatever you guys didn't have.
Mhm.
the year is 1994. Let me take you guys on a trip. 1994, Santa Claus is invented by who other than Leo Benvenuti and Steve Rudnick. Now, who are those that you might be asking? Those are the writers of the 1994 film The Santa Claus. And let me
Nice.
the origin story of Santa Claus is a guy named Tim Allen. And this guy, this fucking Tim Allen guy, man, let me tell you, he just can't stop selling toys. And this little fucking guy just is such a good toy salesman. He just can't help himself, and he turns into Santa. He wears a Santa suit, and then he's like, "Oh no, I'm turning into Santa," but no one believes that I'm Santa. And then they find out that he's Santa, and he's like, "Listen, guys, I'm Santa, and I gotta go do Santa shit." And they're like, "You're lying. Santa's not real." He's like, "Motherfucker, I'm Santa. Look at me. I'm white haired now. I'm fat, and I'm wearing a Santa suit, and I got shit to do." And then they're like, "Oh shit, he's Santa," and then that's it. The end. That's Santa Claus lore for you right there.
Nice. I'm about it.
Forgetting where they break him out of jail.
Yeah, I just did like a really brief plot
There was so
synopsis.
much
I
that
didn't do.
happened. I mean,
There was a lot.
and then there's like the Santa Claus 2, the Santa Claus 3. Like there's
Yeah,
We
it's
don't,
a
we don't
whole
talk about
series.
those.
there's
Yeah.
there's a lot of events that happen after he's like, "Hey, I'm Santa," and they're like, "No, you're not." There's a lot of events that go on in between that.
Yeah. Then
I
there's
just
like
kind
the
of glanced
whole like
over.
custody battle for his child type thing going on.
Yeah, there's a fucking what's that elf's name? There's like an elf with like a really standard
Bernard.
name.
Bernard.
Bernard. Yeah,
Fucking elf named Bernard.
the elf named Bernard.
Depp, you'd be a
I don't
fucking
know why they
elf
made me
named
laugh.
Bernard. Don't lie.
No.
Well, you ain't no Judy.
I don't know why the elf that name just makes me laugh. I feel like an elf's name should be like, I don't know, something like,
Frankel. Like
yeah, like some like made up like fairy name or whatever, and then it's like, "Hey, I'm Bernard."
yeah. Yeah. No, I'm here with you. I'm here with you. And I'm back. I'm gone. I'm back. I'm gone. Athena is where we were, I believe, because we touched on Arthur and how sometimes his sword is Excalibur and sometimes it's the one from the stone.
Yeah, sometimes he unsheaths his massive sword, and shows it off to his knights.
Yep.
Say, "Hey,
But
your guys'
then
sword isn't as big as my sword."
but then there's Athena, whom, if I'm not mistaken, is quite literally the brainchild of Zeus. And Frodo G can fact check me on that. But I'm fairly certain Zeus
What do
was
you mean by
like,
it? What do you mean by brainchild?
Like literally took her out of his mind, like born of like brain thought.
If I
I don't
remember
have no idea.
correctly, somebody struck Zeus in the head because he had a pounding headache. May have been Hephaestus.
It's
And
Kratos.
Athena basically came out of his head.
Fully grown from his forehead.
Yep.
Yep.
Which is supposed to be a thing because Athena and Aphrodite are two, like, almost opposite examples of females born without females needed in Greek mythology.
Mm-hmm.
It has a lot more to do with like the Greek culture and stuff like that back then, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so like literally goddess of wisdom, because all that shit left Zeus and he still kept Man-Horn around. Needed somebody to do the thinking. And it wasn't gonna be Zeus. Turned his 5-head into a 4-head. And he had the -1 of Athena.
Athena fought Ares, right? That's like the big thing.
Uh
I know like a little tiny bit. It's like she was like the adversary to Ares or something, right? Like Ares was like, "Hey, I'm the god of war," and she was like, "I'm the goddess of wisdom, but like also kind of the god of war." And then they fought or something, right?
Yeah, they're both war gods.
they're both war gods, but I think the god that she's like the opposite of is Artemis.
Ares.
No,
Yeah, I thought it was Ares.
no, Ares is war, Athena is war. They're both war.
Right, but they're
Can't
the
be-
opposite.
Opposite of war
aspects
is peace.
of
Like
that.
they're
No.
Well, no, I
No.
don't mean like
No, no, no.
opposite in that sense. I mean like they were adversaries. Like they fought each other.
adversarial, likely.
Yeah, yeah.
Like because no, I'm the war god. No, I'm the war god. Like
No,
I
it's not even
imagine.
that. It's two different aspects of the same thing, right?
Yeah,
Like your
Ares
shirt.
was like
Is
war
your
and
shirt
destruction
white
and shit.
or is it black? Or is it black with white on it? White with black on it. Or black and white shirt. You know what I mean? It's kind of one of those. You have like your violent, vengeful aspect of war, right? But then there is also still the strategic, the cunning, the brave aspect of it, right? There's two aspects of the same thing. It's not necessarily like an opposite, as in like what is the exact opposite of this. It's like opposite as in what's on the other side of the coin.
Yeah.
And she has a cool spear too.
She's got a real cool spear. She had her own like city.
Common misconception that everybody in the olden days used swords. Swords were super expensive and required training. Most people use spears.
Dude, have you ever thought about like what weapon you would use in like an environment like that? Because I would definitely use some sort of spear, or like I would go like fucking what's his name, Donatello, where like I'm using like a big wooden stick.
Big wooden stick.
Why don't you
But
just put something
bad.
pointy on the end of that stick?
'Cause it's more. I feel like it's way cooler to be like, hey, I'm using a wooden stick and I'm whooping your ass like a monk almost.
Monkey. Got him.
Yeah, I definitely would probably go
yeah.
with a spear halberd or something.
Yeah, I definitely use like
I'm
some
with
sort of like
rage.
long range.
Bow and arrow. There we go. It's a throwback to the classic.
No, it's just the whole like I'm not trained, so go with the thing that they
Yeah.
gave people that were little to no training for a reason.
I could
So, yeah,
pick it up fast enough.
I'm not trained, but I think that I'm one of those people. I'm not trained, but I would have the confidence to think that I was trained because I would
Yeah.
you know, as a kid I grew up flailing lightsabers around and shit like that, and I was like, listen, I could, if this was a sword, I'd be capable. Same thing, you know. I just have a long sword. I have a big old spear. I'm
Now
capable. I
going
can
up,
twirl that shit around.
and here's the thing: you're fine as long as you're going up against other unskilled people. As soon as
Oh, yeah.
anyone has like some sort of training, out the window. I'm
yeah, I'm
dead.
fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fucked.
I'm
But
not
I would have
sure.
the confidence to be like, hey, I'll fight you.
Right, this might, I don't know when this is being released in regards to the Christmas
After
episode.
the new year.
But okay, yeah. I mentioned
Oh, this
the
one. Is this one next week or is this
Yeah,
after
well,
the New Year?
This is
regardless,
after New Year's.
Okay.
maybe by this time next year, I won't be saying I'm untrained in weaponry. Just throwing that out there.
Jesus
Bro,
Christ.
I mean, listen, the man got a sword for Christmas, maybe. We don't
Maybe.
know.
Hypothetically,
axe.
maybe.
Hypothetically speaking, the man got a sword. Man's got to know how to use his sword.
Like
Yeah.
the sword would be really dope, but I saw the prices, so I would totally understand the axe. But depending on which one I get, that is depending on what I may or may not be trained
What
in
be trained in.
next year, if
And they say like
can
a
find appropriate classes.
a
Right.
Daredevil-esque style training montage of Fro in his backyard, slicing up sandbags and shit,
Right.
with Evanescence playing over it.
I was going to say Sandstorm by Darude.
Oh my god! All right, so I'm not a huge Evanescence fan, but I actually watched like this. Did you ever get on YouTube and just watch some like weird ass like documentary
Only all
that
the
you
time.
didn't plan
That's
on?
Yeah,
my life. That is my life.
I do it all the time.
That
Right.
is-
I listened to some like 30-minute documentary on the making of Wake Me Up and Evanescence in general.
Mhm.
I'm not like a super huge fan or anything, but it was a very compelling story. And it's actually interesting. Like, do you know the dude? The reason why you don't hear that dude in any other songs is because he's not part of that band and they didn't want him at all to sing on there, but the record company did because they're like, yo, you're a girl. You can't like lead
Women
a song.
can't sing.
You can't anchor this song. We need a man.
No, that's dead ass. 100% what it was. Especially since she's one of the first like heavy metal, punk rock, whatever genre you want to put her in, like
Yeah,
female
I'd say like the
leads.
genre kind of. She's like one of the first.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, no, we don't really. And they didn't even necessarily get a like solid chance until the Daredevil soundtrack blew up, and they're like, all right, we're gonna proceed even further.
I hate that movie. That movie sucks. That scene is just such a fucking weird scene to me. You have Sarah Jessica Parker. Or
Training
it's Sarah Jessica
montage.
Parker, right?
I think so,
I think
yeah.
it's Sarah Jessica Parker, yeah. And she's like, fucking Evanescence starts playing, and she just starts stabbing a sandbag with a dagger. I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
Well, it's not even.
What is
It's one
happening?
of those. What is it? Size. The little. Like, I think it's technically like a digging tool for gardening.
No, she has like actual daggers. It's like her little training montage. It's like
No, I don't
she's
think
using her
that's
actual weapons.
daggers.
Yeah.
Are you talking about Elektra? She
She's
uses size.
Yeah.
No,
Get me-
okay, well,
Okay.
they're like little. They're not garden digging tools. They're like
No.
essentially
That was
knives.
like the origin of that now modern day weapon. Like, it's been designed as a weapon now, but like back in
So-
the old times, like most weapons,
You want to
gardening
hear?
tools.
Yeah, you want to hear another little random little tangent theory thing regarding the Teenage
Yes.
Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
So, Splinter gave each one of the turtles
Oh,
And
you told the
a
story.
weapon that is contradictory or opposite of their personality, right?
Mhm.
For instance, the size, like we were just talking about, is actually a defensive weapon meant for mainly parrying, right? Who's he gives it to? The most aggressive hothead in the entire party. He gives the defensive focus main, right? The tech savvy, read all the books guy, like smart guy, who's he give? Or what's
The
he give
least
him?
technological piece of
fucking
weaponry.
stick.
A stick.
Right?
Yeah.
You have
And
the
Mr.
most,
Laid Back Pizza Carefree has the most technically focused
needs the most
driven.
amount of concentration and
Yeah.
all that, right? The most deadly weapon, the one that can actually kill. Who's he give it to? The most calm, collective, cool last person who would, succumb to that.
Mhm.
Also, I just want to correct myself. It was not Sarah Jessica Parker. It was Jennifer Gardner.
Mm.
They looked very similar to me. But
I
could
mean,
look up the cast of Daredevil.
Early 2000s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, still a dog shit movie, but want to make sure I'm, giving credit where credit's due.
You
So,
mean Batman was in that movie? Ben Affleck acting Batman?
There's actually a lot of like really high level people in the movie. There's Colin Farrell, Michael Clark Duncan's in there, Jon Favreau's in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird to
It was
think
bad
that
movie.
there's been like 4 Batman in my lifetime at this point now.
Yeah. A lot of
Three
bad
live
movies.
action.
I've
Three
seen-
live action. Hold up.
A lot
I
of
can't
bad
think
none
of
of
Metaphor
them.
too.
That's depressing. We should end the
Mhm.
episode.
We still
Well,
haven't talked about Thanatos, dude.
no, Thanatos
he
got his
he
shit
got his
rocked
shit
by
pushed in by
fucking Hercules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Good fuck, Thanatos.
Get wrecked, son. Easy peasy. Yeah, so Hercules, Thanatos, we did that. We did the Izanami is
We've
like the
covered
mother
Izanami
deity.
so fucking
We've
much,
covered
dude.
her.
We really
yeah.
have. We're not gonna do it for a third time.
So that handles Japan. That handles King Arthur and his big sword.
Sure.
Ymir
Massive sword.
was mentioned. Athena, Brainchild, Soul was mentioned, and that was actually a Thor story. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, notice how Thor
Well,
was
to be
in the
fair,
Soul
before we
story as
started-
well.
Before we started, Fro said that Soul was the hardest one to come up with lore for because I guess she's not very, like, there's not a lot of shit about her, you know?
It's like,
And
oh,
then
the
he opened,
sun. And
he
then there's
opened
just
it up
one.
with, oh, we'll start with the easiest one, Soul. And I was like, wait, what? And then it was a Thor story, so that makes sense.
Right. Easy peasy.
Well, no, that was the Soul story. I started off with the easiest one, as in like the easiest to tell,
Gotcha.
not like the easiest to get information on, because it's the hardest to get information on. It's just the easiest to tell.
Yeah.
Soul was a kid, became the sun.
And don't worry,
Ta-da!
everyone. There will be more drunk lores in the future once busy season is over, because I told Fro Double G about egregores, and he's about that. And you can be too. EGREGORE, because I tried to figure out what the word was earlier before we started.
Yeah,
Couldn't
Depp
figure
sent
it
me on
out.
a
Fro
message
found
or
it.
on a mission, trying to figure out what a G word was. But this G word
Yep.
started with an E, and then when I brought it up to him, he's like, "No, you idiot! It starts with a G." And I was like, "Oh, let me go check and make sure."
Mm-hmm. But
Also, I like what you're saying about Soul real quick, where you're like, yeah, she was a child and then she grew up to be the sun. What an achievement that is. Imagine being a kid, like Soul's in like Norse like elementary school, right? And they're like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be the sun. She's like, well, fuck, all right.
what about that shit kid who's like, you'll never amount to anything?
Yeah, they make it into like a bad like early
Literally the
2000s
sun.
movie. They make it into like a Daredevil-esque movie, right?
Right.
She's in school. There's that one obviously bad villain kid who's the bully who's like, "You'll never be shit, Soul. You should just quit." And then they're like, "Right?" And he looks to his little cronies and they're like, "Yeah, good one, dude."
Yeah,
And
just
then
quit.
Soul-
Yeah.
And then Soul does like a training montage with Evanescence playing, and she like learns about like how to become the sun. And then at the end of the movie, she becomes
Burns
the
up
sun and like
sandbags.
burns them. She burns them alive, the bully and his little cronies.
Oh, and then because like we gotta do the oh god, what's the term for it? The symbolism, right? Real low key, because like, you know, we're obviously intellectuals. Like while she like turns into the sun, we gotta be playing like this girl is on fire, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah,
Just in
it's-
case
so that-
anyone
that's
doesn't
your-
catch on, right? Like just
That's
I
your
don't want to say
comedic
it's
moment, right?
blatant. I don't want it's not blatant, right? It's just we need to make it known.
Right.
That's
Well,
your
and so
comedic
here's
moment,
the
bro,
thing.
is- Nah. Listen to
Okay.
it. So this is how it goes. You have Soul transforming into the sun, and then
Yeah.
that song's playing, and then it cuts to inside like a building, and there's like a janitor with earbuds in, and he's listening to "If This Girl's on Fire," and then like it changes the audio quality to like you can hear it from like the outside of him, so it sounds like he's just listening to "This Girl's on Fire," and then it cuts back to Soul transforming, and it's really loud, and it's like, holy shit, what a comedic moment that was.
And the
Yeah.
old man can
Oh,
look like
perfect.
Stanley, but not be Stanley because he's not actually
Yeah.
directly involved. But we want the symbolism not to be too heavy-handed, but directly fucking obvious.
Right.
You know, because
They literally just copy and
moviegoers are
pasted
dumb.
this. They just copy and pasted the scene from Amazing Spider-Man where
Mhm.
Stan Lee's doing the exact same scene I just described, where he's
Yes. Yep.
cleaning something, listening to music.
Yep. Can be used for everything, to be honest. And
Also used in SpongeBob as well.
I was gonna say there could be a part where no. I was gonna say like throws the bully off the roof or something and then play Raining Men, but no, I'm just
she
trying
she
to
burns them alive when she becomes the sun. That's what it is.
Well, boy,
That's that's
I mean, that's not this girl is on fire. It's that boy is on fire.
well, no, that's after she transforms into the sun. The music's over at that point. Then she just
Okay.
then she becomes the
So
sun.
no, but you got to have an action sequence with music, not just a transfer. What is this an anime? Is this an anime now? Got a transformation song?
What's that? Who sings that song? Fro might know this one. You know that song, Fro, where it's like, "I want to watch you burn," and it's like, "Burn, burn," and it's like a metal song almost, or like a rock song, whatever. That could be that song.
You would be
We'll find that.
surprised the amount of metal rock songs that mention wanting
That
to
talk
burn
about
stuff.
Yeah.
Because you
He's
said
not
that, and
wrong.
all
See if
I
I
could
can
think
find
of
it.
was Chelsea's grin playing with fire.
Mm.
Oh, it's "Burned" by Papa Roach.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. That's why I don't know it.
you've got to think more mainstream when we're dealing with Riggs, bro. Got to
Oh,
think mainstream. Something he
Alright,
might have
yeah.
heard. The young Riggsatoni. Speaking about things we've heard, have you all heard about the community corner where you get to put in your god entry for the grand prize of bragging rights of beating Riggs?
Yeah, not gonna happen. Which I think by
Why
the time
does
this
the
episode comes
average
out,
Papa
it
Roach
is-
fan look like they yell at their wives in public? That's what I really want to know.
Jesus Christ.
Because they grew up listening to Papa Roach and they were angry and they're still angry.
I mean, I can relate, but I don't yell at my wife. But I'm just saying, they got that look.
Anyways,
Yep.
I think by the time this episode comes out, we'll do the community quarter the week after this, I think.
When's the world's? So this would be before the world's episode.
Correct. There will be a week in between when
I
we
might
have the
have to-
pre-recorded versus the world's episode.
Yep. Yep.
Oh shit, yeah, we might need to do a challenger
There's the
episode too.
11th.
We got to talk about that.
You know what? Dep Nation isn't going to Worlds. Might be able to pull together some listeners to do a challenger episode that will release on the 11th, and we can go through and have them decide who the winner of the community corner is. So Riggs, you will have to put your entry in before that date of recording.
That's fine, dude. I'm brewing something up.
Well, shit, since
I
this
got
is probably
something
going
in
to
the
be one of the
crock pot.
last reminders before the community corner, why don't you tell us what it is?
5
that would be-
abilities, 5
Oh, it's that
places
one.
of
Yeah.
God, 1 ability from each God class. No doubling down. You can't pick 5 hunter abilities. We've already done that one. You have to pick 1 from each class.
Let's see how
Just have to
OP
wait and
that
find out
Ymir
what mine
passive
is.
really is.
So find out how broken Ymir passive really is.
Well, hold up. Are we going to have to like choose what class our god is and what type of autos and everything?
No.
I mean, you can. Obviously, it works better with some, but like some abilities change your autos, like Bologna.
Well, I mean,
I-
it only matters because, like, if you're trying to build a ranged god, some abilities are going to be more important if you're trying to build a melee god. I guess just let
That's
us
kind
know,
of the
right?
way I had it. Was like it. I wouldn't worry too much about like what class you are and like the type of damage. But like if you want like a ranged god, just say like ranged autos or whatever. But like
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it'll be kind of
wouldn't
obvious if
go-
you
I
say you're
wouldn't
trying to
pass it.
build a tankier god and you put a whole bunch of abilities that are CC and prots, right? I guess it'll be obvious. If you do one that's like nothing but burst damage, you're probably trying to make a damage dealer. So I
You
guess
have
we can
nothing
kind
but
of figure it
heals.
out.
You're probably doing some
You're
emoji.
probably a
Probably
piece of shit.
cringe as fuck.
I don't know what you said, Dep, or whether you said emoji shit, but it almost sounded like you were going to say emotional damage at first. And I'm like, that's right. You have emotional damage. You do. If you play
Build a
too
healer,
many
you have
healers,
some
that's what you
emotional
have.
damage.
Well, yeah. As soon as you said you put 4 healing abilities, all 3 of us had a negative reaction to it.
Right.
All were just like, get that shit out of here.
Jesus Christ.
All right.
Oh, man.
We need to talk to Nev. Nev makes the memes. We need the one of the people in the boardroom, and Dep is the dude who makes a suggestion, and he's like, "How about
it's
a god with 4 abilities?"
Four
And he gets
healing-
thrown the fuck
4
out the
healing
window.
abilities. Yeah.
Now we can end it. That's a good one to end it on.
Yep, we need to end it. And Fro Double G, we have some
Fuck,
people
thank
to
yous.
thank.
I'm out of, guys, I'm sure you've noticed by now, but I haven't been around.
You haven't been
Obviously.
around, but why don't
I've
I
been
thank Sadons for our thumbnails, and why don't I thank Raging Cajun for those artwork commissions? Fro Double G, who are the patrons that we need to thank?
Patrons we need to thank are Ariel Steel, Asbestos Dog, Breeze Chiason. Please let me know how to pronounce that. Breeze, Bryce, Chiasons. Help a brother out. Weatherman Keith. Bryce's oh my god, Depp, it's gonna be so hard not to see that now. Fuck. Weatherman Keith, Jade Flagon, Baseball Griff, Bombi, Danny, Caveman, Neo, Coffin Monkey, City Arlets, Gilly, Snorlax, Weatherman, Adios, Sir Ember, K Brojo, Famous Freak, Stoffmeister, Backlash, Sadons, Dr. Godfucker, Lantern, Reese, Warlord Yo, Bats Kid, Echo Dunk, Doc, Necros, Otter Joe, Riggs, Dracon, Glen Wiggle, Granite Boys, Camel Hoss, Void vs. Void, Enbright, Sloppy Satch, Scion Gemini, Batman, Sandman, Aquasoft, Kilowatt Man, I'm a Hater, Mr. Man, Colorado, Amberbug, Folk Hero, and The Big Red. Thank you all very much. This list is getting huge.
It is monstrous. I've considered having us record it as a separate file and insert it at the end, just to save my mental capacity.
We'd have to redo it every time it gets
updated, which is fine.
Yeah. I guess I could do that, yeah.
You know? You just have to let us know whenever there's an update and we can do it.
I could literally just go in and replace the file. And then oh yeah, I guess because you guys would have it downloaded. Yeah. Yeah, right. We could do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do the people I feel like they might let us know, patrons. Does it matter? Would you like us to do it?
Does it matter if we have it pre-recorded and
we put it at the end?
Or that it's unique every time?
Nah, I will say if we put it at the end, there's always the chance of us forgetting it.
You are
and then we'd
correct.
feel bad.
Although we have the outro at the end, so hopefully you'd think, oh, where's the thank yous?
Where's
the chapstick? I'm out of here, guys. Goodbye.
I'm done. Goodbye. Love y'all.